Hello there. One moment while I try to argue with Instagram. Hmm. Oh, I think it's working. Okay. All right. No, I don't hear myself though. Okay, let's fix it. Can you confirm you see it on Instagram?
It's live.
All right. Hey, everybody. This is Dr. Brooke Goldner from Goodbye Lupus, and I haven't seen you in a month. Um, and there was a few reasons I wanted to come live today. Um, First, um, we've received all of the outpouring of love from all of you, and we appreciate it. I've checked, thankfully, Leo, Bianca, they've been taking care of us and making sure you all got content from us. And I do check to see what's going on, and all I've seen is just lots of love from all of you, and we appreciate it. For those of you who don't know, my family experienced a horrific and tragic loss. My perfectly healthy and wonderful son, Alex. And I wanted to let you all know also that we are okay as we can be. I know a lot of you are worried about us, and so I thought if I can show my face, that you can see that we are okay. We are hurting, yes, but we are resilient, and we are leaning on each other and taking care of each other. We have amazing family and friends, and we are getting through this together. In the hard times, I think a lot about my grandmother because she really showed me the way. And I saw Leo posted a video of me talking about her this week. But she survived the Holocaust. She lost a child. She lost a brother. She lost many people in her family. And then she lost my grandfather too. I lived 30 years without him. And in spite of all the loss, all the pain, she was adamant about being a lucky person. And she laughed, and she loved, and she danced. And she showed me over and over again that even through pain, you can still find joy, and you can still enjoy your life, and you can still feel good and feel lucky. The key is to keep going. And that's what we're doing. Those of you that I've helped overcome trauma know that one of the key things I've always said is that the key to not sinking into depression or despair is purpose and meaning. And I've got a lot of that. Of course, I still have an amazing son, Solomon, who decided to go back to school today. And if he's going back to school, then I can do this. I have an incredible husband who makes me feel loved and seen and beautiful every day. I have an incredible family. And I also still have amazing purpose in all of you. You see, I wasn't given the chance to save my son. But I can save your kids, and I can save you. And my husband and I very much feel, more than ever, that purpose and that meaning is still everything to us. And that is why we are going back to work, because we want to save the people we can, and we don't want anybody else to lose someone that could have been saved. And so for that reason, that's why I'm here, and that's why I will still do my work. And you don't have to worry about me. I've been taking care of myself for a long time. I mean, 30 years ago, I was diagnosed with lupus. I know my boundaries. I know my limits. I won't push myself too hard. But taking care of people, saving people gives us that joy back. That gives us that purpose and that meaning. Even through all of this, some people who didn't know what I was going through were sending me labs and thanking me that their kidneys healed, that their kid was better, that it's been a year and they're still doing well. And those are the highlights. Those are the moments that could make me smile even through my pain. And that's what purpose does, right? Because when we only have our pain, it can take over and we can drown in it. And I could feel those waves that wanted to come that way. But when we have purpose and we have meaning, then the pain just becomes a part of who we are, but not all of who we are. And taking care of others gives me happiness, and saving lives gives me purpose. And so that is why I will work. We took time. I mean, I admit there was at least a week where I couldn't think. But you know what? Even when I couldn't feel anything, no hunger, no sensation. If someone handed me a smoothie, I drank it. If someone handed me water, I drank it. I want to live. I believe life is a gift no matter what. And it's worth it even when we hurt. And so you don't have to worry about me in that way. And yes, I'm still here to help you because I believe that's my purpose. That's my meaning. And so that's what I will keep doing. So I've gotten a lot of messages from people who were asking whether or not we were going to have our rapid recovery group starting January 12th. And my husband and I, we sat down and we thought about it and we decided, yes, absolutely. Because we actually feel more urgency now to save those lives. I don't want anybody to have to wait for that. And again, it gives us immense meaning in our lives to save the lives we can, even as we mourn the one we couldn't. So there are still spots in that group. I know some people have held back because they thought for sure we wouldn't do it. We have always poured our heart and soul into taking care of people and saving people, sometimes from themselves. And we are equally committed, if not even more than ever, to doing that. So we will be doing that. And there are some spots left, and we will take care of you with all of our hearts. In fact, like I said, it gives us joy and meaning to do so. That's January 12th. The other thing is you might have noticed, somebody noticed that my book did come out a couple weeks ago. I didn't have the heart or presence of mind to come online and promote it. I'm sure you understand. But it was kind of weird, actually. It was shortly after trauma. Someone handed me this proof. It got delivered. I don't remember how it got in my hands, honestly. And I was still kind of in this weird state of shock and horror. But at some point, I started flipping through it. And all I could see was him. My Alex wanted to be a vegan chef, and he has some recipes in here. He's in here a lot, actually. My Alex, my kids, and I think you can see his joy and his happiness in it. And he was very excited, actually, to be a published chef. So we decided in that moment to go ahead and let it be published, but we dedicated it to him. So those of you who received it saw that, and I think it's a beautiful reminder of his life and his love. And I hope that his recipes help you or someone you love heal and get their life back too. So it was published. It's been a bestseller since it went online, and I don't even know how, honestly. So thank you. But his life can still save others, and I think that that's beautiful. It makes me happy, and it would make him happy too. He has some good recipes too. If you like desserts, he likes sweets, so his are all in the dessert section, and they're good. So it is out. It is on Amazon. The version that's out is a paperback. There's multiple reasons for that. You can see I don't even have the current version yet. It's like I only have the proof. It turns out it's really expensive to publish a color cookbook. And I didn't want this to be something that was inaccessible to people, and to publish like a hardcover, full color premium cookbook. It's expensive. And so we wanted to try to get it out in a way that was still beautiful and usable, but more accessible. So we published this paperback version, and it's still beautiful. I mean, you can see the color, everything is really, really nice. And we've gotten great reviews on it, thankfully. I think one negative one was that it wasn't a premium hardcover, but that was the reason. The only problem with this is that there's a couple countries that won't publish it unless it's the premium version of it. So we're working on that. But it is the color. I don't know if you can see, like the colors are still pretty nice. It's actually, you can't see this clearly over the camera. The colors are nice. It looks really good, and it's fully usable like this. So we wanted it to be able to come out as quickly as possible and be something that's not super expensive for people, etc. Japan, Australia, I think maybe on a couple other countries won't publish a paperback color book. So we do have a hardcover premium version of it coming out with the super glossy waterproof pages that you would normally see in a cookbook. So there is a hardcover premium one coming out. Unfortunately, the proof for that takes a lot longer. The proof's expected to come sometime by the end of this month, end of January. So once I receive that and it looks perfect, we'll have that released as well. So for anyone who just wants to have the fully glossy hardcover, I don't know, coffee table version of it, you can have that. Or for those of you who weren't able to order the paperback because of the restrictions, it'll be available then. Okay, so I apologize. I know I have a huge following in Australia, and you guys weren't able to receive it. I'm sorry about that. But by the end of January, you should be able to get it too. Okay, so I did want to answer that because there were some people who were upset about not being able to get it. But it is dedicated to my beautiful son, and we hope that all of the recipes help you. Every recipe was contributed by somebody who healed in my program, or myself who healed in my program, or my son who was possible because of this program. So that's available. And as I said, the hardcover will be out probably by the end of the month, as long as the proof looks good for those of you who want it or who can only receive it that way. I think that's all the updates I have for all of you. So those are the things I really wanted to say. And again, thank you for all of you who have been so kind and given our family so much love. I am getting not only social media stuff, but I've always given my cell phone number out to everyone I've worked with. Well, that's been thousands of people. And every day my phone is just going off nonstop with just love from people and prayers and kindness and thoughts and concern. And thank all of you for that. But we are here, and we are taking our steps through it. And we cry when we need to, we laugh when we can, and we talk about it nonstop every day. We probably always will. But we are doing it. We are okay. And we are getting good. Thank you to all of you for that. Okay, let me see what's going on here on the question side. This is the first time that I've been able to do Instagram through the same streamer, so I don't have to check my phone separately. So I was going to move my phone, but that just moved. I'm just going to stop messing with it. Sorry. Sorry about that. Let me see what I can do and address anything that you all need. All right, let's see here. Oh, all right. So Lorraine wants to know, my brother-in-law has been suffering from depression since February 2023. And my sister only recently told me she doesn't know what to do. Medication isn't helping. He's mostly in bed with 2 kids. So when it comes to a severe depression that is completely new, one of the most important things you can do is actually do a full medical workup. When I meet somebody who's coming to me with depression but has no history of depression or trauma, the most urgent thing to do is do a workup to look at all the systems that could cause depression, like the thyroid, the heart, etc. You really do need a full medical workup to make sure that there's not something going on that's actually causing the depression if it's out of the blue, okay? Or even if there might be something behind it, but it's never happened before. In addition, he really needs to see another specialist. If the current doctor is not able to help him, then he needs to see someone who can. In addition to being a specialist in disease reversal and nutrition, I'm also a psychiatrist, and I've helped people who were I've seen people who were completely catatonic and helped them come back. People have different specialties. So if you're not getting the help you need, I recommend that you find the right help. But he can't stay in that bed, and all of you need to come together to figure out what you can do to help him. I'm so sorry that's happened to your family. All right, let's see here. Ellen Need wants to know, is weight loss faster without fruit? Typically so. It just depends on what you're trying to do. If the only fruit you're having is in your smoothie and then you're eating tons of salads, that's going to help a lot. Really, the key to fat loss is going to be how much you're exercising. So the nutritional protocol sets your body up with the metabolism to burn fat as quickly as possible and to build muscle as quickly as possible. The exercise then determines what happens next. My husband's a great resource for that. Thomas Tadlock, he has a book, Miracle Metabolism, and that will tell you a lot about how to pair up the right nutrition with the right exercise. Vitiligo, has anyone ever healed completely after having several years? I have had people heal from vitiligo. Not all of the areas have repigmented, but the most recent areas did. And I think that was really significant. Most of this is just people sharing love, and I appreciate that. Let's see here. Let's see. Is it common to be low in zinc with hypernourishment and whole food plant-based? Not typically, no. But if you're low in it, it's an easy thing to supplement. Let's see. Where's Prince? Goodbye autoimmune disease, official, seasoning, spices, herbs, fresh and dry, liquid list. I need to save my food. Most seasonings are going to be fine. Most of them are just dry plants. So unless it has sugar in it or oils in it, I wouldn't worry about that. Nancy, yes, this is people with pulmonary hypertension. Let's see. I'm going to move away from YouTube. Let's look at. There we go. Let's do some Facebook. Well, thank you guys. Okay. Has anyone with ulcerative colitis ever been able to do the Goodbye Autoimmune protocol, get better off meds, and back to healthy, whole food, plant-based, and eventually add back vegan, recreational once a week, like where you are? Yes. But you always keep that hypernourishment, okay? Let's see here. There's less questions and more love, but you guys are awesome. I'm looking for questions, I promise. Let's see. I'm going. There's got to be questions on Facebook. Hold on. I love all of you too. Thank you. Let's see. There's got to be. Hold on. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Let me see. Okay, here's a Facebook question. Diagnosed with osteoporosis 2 weeks ago, starting with personal trainer soon. I remember you said you helped your grandmother reverse her osteoporosis in her 80s. I'm not eating anything processed since. I'm hypernourishing plus tofu. Should I add tofu or other plant protein for my weight-bearing exercise? No, that's a great combination right there, Missy. If you're not having any kind of autoimmune or health issues, you can do Thomas's program that he has in his book. You know, adding even things like quinoa, their grains, but definitely strength training to reverse the osteoporosis. Remember, your bone density is based off of your muscle density. So a lot of times when you see a doctor and you have osteoporosis, they're just telling you what medicines to take, what supplements to take. But after that, the most important factor in the density of your bones is the density of your muscles. And so strength training exercise are essential, not just for your bone strength, but also your health as you grow older. You think about it, what the biggest problem is for the elderly, like falling down. If you fall down, you need to be able to get yourself back up. You need the strength in your legs and your arms, be able to do a push-up, be able to do a squat, be able to do a shoulder press to get something off of you. You need to have strength in your muscles, and walking alone is not going to give you that strength. So for your bone density and also just for your general health and ability to function as you get older, strength training is essential as you get older. Really, really important. My mom's about to turn 70. If you look at my Instagram, you'll see her planking with me. She's got buff biceps. We go work out together. So it's really, really important as you get older to do those things. Let me see here. You guys are also very sweet. I'm going to just want to save the comments. Busy. All right. There's questions somewhere. Goodness. Let's see if Instagram's got some pull on. Let's see. Instagram concert. Okay, I'm gonna have to look over here for Instagram. All right. One moment, guys. Sorry, you get my profile while I try to check all the questions here. Let's see. I see some of you have experienced losing your children too. It is a horrible thing. Okay. Yes, I have seen help for seborrheic dermatitis. It's hard to find questions. Mind Your Medicine says you're allowed to take a break. You have your community. Yes, and we have taken a break. And as I said, I won't push myself to do things that I can't do. As I said, it actually feels good to live my purpose. It doesn't take away my pain, but it sure adds some beauty and happiness to my life that I need. So yes, I promise I won't do more than I feel like I can do, and especially more than I can do well. I will not be an impaired coach. I will take care of myself, and I won't do things I can't do. I promise you that. Let me see. There must be questions. Hold on. I'll find the questions. My goodness, people. All right, so I think everybody just came on here to grieve with me and support me, and I love all of you for that, actually. It's very, very kind. Just scrolling through prayers and love. So let me see here. Yes, we do have a lot of strength, and we have each other. Let me see. All right. Well, if we don't have a lot of questions, we don't have to spend a ton of time on here today. I will be back doing this every week. I'm going to see if I can find any. All right, here we go. All right, we have some questions. Okay. So Anna Raz 8 says, please help. I've had acid reflux for 8 years with normal endoscopy. So if you have normal endoscopy, that's a really good thing. At least your esophagus hasn't been damaged. When you're looking at chronic issues like that with acid, though, it is painful and it can cause damage long term. So there's some things that you can do. One, cutting back on anything that can make it worse. So animal products, oils, high caffeine intake, all of those things can cause that problem or worsen it. And then the next thing you want to do is try to limit your meal size. Too much pressure in the stomach can cause a lot of pressure on the esophagus. And so if you've got acids in there, it can cause that burning feeling. So limiting meal size, as well as the typical stuff that you hear, don't lay down after a meal. If you need to lay on a wedge or something like that. And then the short-term medications can really help too with recovery. See, gastroparesis. I've actually helped multiple people now fully recover from gastroparesis of long hydrate. So those of you who aren't aware of that term, it's when people's stomach empties very slowly. And so over time, people can get to the point where they can barely eat. I worked with someone who'd had it for years and her weight was down to the 80s in pounds, and she could barely eat at all. And she actually signed up for my 4-week rapid recovery, which was really interesting because I went, you're going to do this full program and we can't even get a few ounces of food in you. And she was all in. And so we did rapid recovery protocol, which is a good autoimmune disease protocol. And one of the things that was very helpful that I always do with folks with gastroparesis is split your meals up into anywhere from 5 to 8 meals a day. So you take that full amount of food that you would eat in a day and you split it up into these little tiny meals. And every 2 hours, you shove that meal down. And then you wait 2 hours, which should allow enough time for emptying, and then you do the next one. And so if you do that, that really gives your gut time to empty and process. And so in the beginning, she was only able to eat like 3 to 7 ounces of cruciferous greens a day. We're just using soft greens like spinach. But end of 4 weeks, she was eating 24 ounces a day. No more gastroparesis at all. So I have seen an amazing recovery using my protocol and meal spacing to help get it in, where she can now eat full meals and huge amounts of food. And it was as little as 4 weeks. So it was really, really impressive. Let me see. Let me see here. A lot of people with GERD. Let me see here. Vanessa wants to know, is it possible to have too much green smoothie? Is 64 ounces a day safe if you have COPD? I have flu, but could also experiencing withdrawal. No, there's not really a thing in terms of too much nourishment. I mean, the cool thing about our bodies is if we have too much food, it all is going to come back out again, right? The only danger would be in someone who can get fluid overloaded. So, for example, in heart failure, kidney failure, or in kidney failure, when someone can have too much of certain things, like if we're looking at potassium, for example, then we have to limit food intake. But in terms of if you can metabolize food normally and you're not on any kind of water or food restrictions, then the more the better. I mean, I've had people easily down 2 blenders a day and have amazing recoveries. And when you think about it, that Vitamix blender might say 64 ounces when you go to the line, but most people fill it to the top, which is more like 80 to 90 ounces. And I've seen people easily do 2 of those a day, have extraordinary recoveries. So as long as you're able to have all the fluids without any restriction, the more the better, and whatever's excess goes out. So that's it. Let's see here. Okay. And Jeanette Getting Healthy wants to know, is this protocol good for breast cancer? Yes, I've had people with breast cancer do marvelously on this. I do always recommend that you get medical care for cancer. First of all, in the US, it's actually illegal for a doctor to say that a nutrition program is a treatment for cancer. It's illegal. It's not FDA approved. So that's one thing. But also, I think cancer is an emergency. And the Western medical world is good at emergencies. And so I think getting whatever care you can is always a good idea. But I have definitely had someone recently who had not yet had her surgery and her cancer markers were coming down just eating on my protocol, which was wonderful, but I still want her to have the surgery. That's just, if it were me, that's what I would do. But it has been helpful with people. We had someone with prostate cancer whose markers just, boom, they went down, like my husband said at the time, like someone snapped it for the first time ever, all in our rapid recovery group. Someone who had positive markers, CA125, was going to get a CT scan because her doctor was worried about ovarian cancer, but at the end of our rapid recovery group, her markers were negative. So we have seen incredible things like that. But again, if you have a cancer diagnosis, work with your team. But eating the nutrition from my plan is only going to benefit you. It's going to optimize your body's ability to recover from damage that can be done from the medicines. We've had a lot of people who've already had chemotherapy and radiation do our rapid recovery group to recover because they had neuropathies from the chemo, et cetera, or they still had brain fog and fatigue, and they came back to feeling completely normal again, recovering afterwards. So a lot of times people will use our rapid recovery group not just to treat an illness, but to recover from the treatment of an illness. And it's been very, very effective in that too. So it is a definite a good thing to do. Oh, goodness. I'm glad you enjoy Alex's banana bites. They are delicious, and he would always eat the whole tray. I rarely ever got a bite. Um, Let me see here. Aw, getting healthy with Stacy, I said the books are great. I'm so glad. I'm so glad that you like it. Um, that makes me happy. I love it. People from all different religions are praying for us, so we're covered. Thank you, all of you, for that. Let me see here. I'm still looking for questions. I'm sorry, there's not that many of them. A lot of people like Alex's banana candy recipe. They are good. Um, let me see. I'm sorry. I'm still reading. I'm reading comments, but there aren't questions, so I'm just working through and finding them. Sorry, you have to stare at me while I read. Okay, so Carol wants to know. She said she's been on the Goodbye Lupus protocol for 3 months. Her cholesterol has recently jumped up to over 200. What should I do? First of all, I wouldn't jump to conclusions. You can know for sure the Goodbye Lupus protocol doesn't cause cholesterol to go up. It will cause cholesterol to go down. Unless your cholesterol was already borderline and your HDL, your good cholesterol went up, and that's what bumped it up. But it won't make your cholesterol go up. So you can cross that off your list of concerns. The last time I saw someone for an appointment who thought the cholesterol had gone up on my program, I went through her labs and I saw that her cholesterol was really high, and suddenly it got really low, and then it only got to borderline high. And I said, "What happened here?" She goes, "Oh, I went on cholesterol medicine." I said, "Okay. And what happened when it went back up?" She goes, "Oh, I went off cholesterol medicine." I said, "Okay. Then when you went off the cholesterol medicine, were you on my protocol?" She said, "Yes." I said, "So your cholesterol went down," because her cholesterol was like 300 without medicine and without eating on my plan. And then she's now off medicine and her cholesterol's already down to like 198, which shows that now off medicines, her body has reduced its cholesterol. So usually when somebody has a strange thing like that, where they're like, this got worse on your plan, it's just a misunderstanding of the lab or not really putting all the other things factors into play, like, oh yeah, I used to take a cholesterol lowering medicine and now I don't anymore. Or sometimes it's just there hasn't been enough time. So for example, if you test your cholesterol once a year, and so you tested it last year and then you tested it this year, and it's higher this year than last year, but you've been in my plan for 3 months, it's come down in the past 3 months. It was just higher this year than last year. So what I would recommend is you just retake the test in another like 2 months and keep going with your nutrition, and then you'll be able to see that it's actually coming down. That I'm confident of. All right. Yes, I have a fighting spirit. I come from a family of survivors. Yeah, we are fighters for sure. Um, Thank you all. Let's see. Okay, a question. Dr. G, is it okay to use raw honey and oat milk instead of almond milk in the protocol? Been binge watching your live since being diagnosed with MS 3 weeks ago. No to the honey. I don't recommend the oat milk either. The unsweetened almond milk is what we've tested, and so that's what we've been using over the years. Because I only like to recommend what I've actually tested and gotten results with. I am not a theory person. I think that it is a disservice to people to teach theories, which is unfortunately what most people do in this realm. But I only teach results. And so when I first started doing this program with people, really unsweetened almond milk was the only option. You know, there was sweetened and unsweetened almond milk or soy milk. We found soy milk caused inflammation in some people, so that was out. So unsweetened almond milk is what we use. Now, in 2024, there's a whole section of non-dairy milks. Then there's oat, and there's flax, and there's banana, and there's every nut, cashew, walnut. Everything apparently can make milk. I didn't know that. But those are untested. So I don't usually recommend you try other types of of untested things, but it's up to you. If you're getting results doing that, more power to you. But you're just deviating from what's actually been tested. Um, Most oat milks, though, I don't recommend because they usually have sugar and oil in them. And oats themselves wouldn't be a part of the plan. So I wouldn't recommend it. If you can use the unsweetened almond milk and you don't have an allergy, then go for that. If you do have an allergy or you are doing well using it, that's up to you. And people do get away with it. So let me see. Michelle wants to know. I started the Goodbye Lupus protocol in September, but I came off it for 10 days in the holiday season. I'm back on it now. Do you think that 10 days off would turn my health backwards? Yes, definitely. Unfortunately, I just did my first wellness session actually in the past 3 weeks. Today, talking to someone with autoimmune disease in his kidney, and we were discussing that. That yes, it does impact. Even to have one bite off plan, which when I first started doing that, that didn't even make sense to me. What's a bite going to do? And then I started working with people in kidney failure, and I've helped people with GFR of 5, haven't urinated in years, get back to urinating again. I've helped people get off dialysis and even off the transplant list, and I've published things off the transplant list. So I've learned from the kidneys, which are the strictest organ I've encountered, that even one bite can drop someone's function 6 to 10 points in a day that can take them weeks to come back from. So the kidneys to me are like that indicator that shows me the impact of our foods, and they are a sensitive organ. But if one bite can cause someone to lose gains that it took them 2 weeks to get, 10 days off plan, yeah, you did some backtracking. Now, how much? I don't know. When it depends, did you keep hypernourishing during that time? Did you just eat cooked food but nothing egregiously inflammatory, or were you eating ham and buttery potatoes and whatever? I don't know. One of the biggest ways you know is your symptoms, but it's really important when it comes to your health to do what it takes to get better until you're healthy, and then when you're healthy, you do what it takes to stay healthy. I really encourage you not to take that lightly. As I said before, life is a gift, and how you treat your body is everything in terms of maintaining that gift for yourself and for the people who love you. Taking 10 days off for what? Right? To get high at the risk of your survival, of your health, of your life? Doesn't make sense, right? Not really. So we have to stop thinking about food as something that's just kind of not that important, something that you can, like treat it like a diet, like, oh, I'll go back on my diet after the holidays. This is not about what size pants you wear or the circumference of your waist, right? This is about your life. And if you're on the Goodbye Lupus protocol, you probably have significant health issues. So don't take that lightly. If you have a life that can be saved, save it. And I really mean it for all of you. About a week after I lost my son, I got an email from somebody saying that her son was diagnosed with lupus, but he likes meat too much to do my program. Can I recommend any supplements that could help? And I just started sobbing, and I was like, save your son. I think the email was more aggressively worded than I normally would. But I was like, really? You have the opportunity to save him, and yeah, he won't like his food. There's worse things, but you can save him, right? Sometimes we have to do things we don't want to do because the payoff is worth it. Saving your kid's worth it. Saving yourself is worth it. You can live without ham and cake. In fact, you might not be able to live unless you give those things up. But for all of you who are kind of looking for a way to minimize the effort, to maximize using food for fun and minimize using food for healing, I really encourage you to think about what you're doing. It's like telling me how much cocaine can I start before my heart explodes? Well, let's just not do that, right? The only 2 heart attacks I saw in people in their 30s was a bodybuilder eating too much meat and a cocaine user. So if you really want to change your life, change your health, protocol works. It works really well. It's the only reason you're even seeing it right now. Because I would have been canceled long ago if it didn't. The internet does not protect people. Right? The reason you see me here is because my protocol works and thousands of people around the world are healthy today, including myself, because of it. All you got to do is follow it and don't make excuses. And this isn't just for the person who answered the question, obviously, but for all of you who are thinking that, like, gosh, how long do I have to do this? When can I eat this or that a little bit? Really take the time to think about what does it mean to you to live and to be healthy? And does anything else matter more than that? All right. As a lot of the questions are very much about this. Let me see here. Like next question, Jackie wants to know, can you share why having lightly steamed vegetables in addition to the Goodbye Lupus protocol can potentially hold back healing? I don't know the why. I just know that it has. Again, I've personally worked with over 4,000 people alone just in my private wellness. I have helped so many people heal. Some people get away with having a little bit of steamed vegetables and they get better, and it's great. And then some people don't. Whenever there's a variable where it may or may not work, I don't do that thing because it matters too much to me to help people get well. So if there's a possibility something won't work, then that's not included in the protocol. The protocol is just the foods that help people recover their health. So the Goodbye Lupus protocol is the food. Goodbye Autoimmune Disease protocol includes the self-care and the sleep and purpose and all the things you need to have happiness and reduce stress and allow your body to heal so that the food does its job, right? Everything else is superfluous. So now you're looking at hypernourishing. So if you're doing hypernourishment plus steamed vegetables, there's a good chance you're going to have awesome results. And if you don't fully recover, just take the steamed vegetables out. But if that's the only thing you're having is all the raw foods plus some steamed vegetables, there's a good chance you're going to have a great result, maybe even a full recovery. But it hasn't been consistent. And because of that inconsistency, the protocol's about eating the raw foods because that's what works consistently, repeatedly, over and over again. And so I'm only going to teach what I know works when it comes to doing the full protocol. Okay? I know everybody wants to know the whys. It's interesting to me too. I have theories, but I don't like to teach theories because you can't prove a theory and it doesn't really matter, does it? Just do what works repeatedly until you get a result. And we know what works. So, all right, let me see here. Outdoors fan wants to know, can you store flax seeds in a freezer instead of the refrigerator? I don't know. I have never tested that. I don't even store mine in the refrigerator. We go through it pretty quickly, and I store it in my pantry. Our house is pretty cool, so yeah. So I don't know what the difference is in nutrients. Maddie C wants to know, why is there not a consensus on what cells need, especially among research-backed approaches? For example, you and Dr. Walls both value flax and dark leafy greens, but she also prioritizes other essential fatty acids and mitochondria-boosting supplements like choline. Thank you, Dr. G. Complicated. Well, I don't know if it's a complicated answer, but I want to stay respectful to people. There's a lot of approaches that can improve your health. And any approach that encourages you to eat more omega-3s from flax and chia seeds and eat more leafy greens, that's getting where you need to go. Dr. Walls, I highly respect her. We actually had a phone call, gosh, must have been like 5 years ago now. She actually contacted me and wanted to learn about what I'm doing, and not as a client, don't worry, I'm not breaking privilege or anything, but just as two people discussing our lives. And I agree with a lot of how she came to what she did. You know, she was trying to find a way to feel better from MS, and she was using a lot of vitamins. And then she realized, what if I just ate the foods that the vitamins come from? And then she felt better. And she actually didn't start getting relief of her symptoms, this is what she told me, until she got up over 8 cups of raw vegetables or vegetables a day. I don't remember now, there maybe more, but over 8 cups of vegetables a day was when she started to actually have relief of her symptoms. Now, during that time, she was already eating better cuts of meat and all that other stuff. but didn't get results. When she switched to adding all the vegetables, she started to get results. And then that's what turned into what her program became. Um, and I think it's wonderful, the results that she got. She can now doesn't have to be in her wheelchair. She told me that she can speak on stage for a couple hours, but then she doesn't have to sit the rest of the day. So it's not like a full reversal, but that she has quality of life that she never had before. And we give that to other people. We also agree with, the need for self-care and other things. I did ask her though, have you ever tried taking the meat out to see if you could fully recover? She said she hasn't tried it yet. I recommend that she does. But there are so many different ways that people get improvement in their health. And the more we embrace the foods that positively affect cellular function and cell repair, the better. I have not seen anybody get better results than what I have. I've had people come from other protocols like that one and fully recover. I've had folks with MS go from not being able to get off the couch to running in mud runs. Sarah, who I'm talking about, she put some recipes in my book that just came out, Goodbye Lupus, Hello Delicious. The folks who have gotten out of the wheelchair and are walking and climbing stairs and doing things they couldn't do before. So I'd like to see people get to that full recovery, see people have reversal of lesions on their MRI. So what we're doing is optimal in terms of the level of the results we get. Why people disagree, I think it depends on what they read, unfortunately. When I first started doing this, my husband and I came up with this protocol together. Initially, it was an accident, if you've read Goodbye Lupus, right? But we refused to bring what we did to the public until we could understand the impact of nutrition on cellular function and cellular repair and immune system, and make sure that nothing was an accident and nothing was like I'm better in spite of this or because of this. Like we need to know those things, and until we could get the same result in every person that we tested it in, to make sure that it was consistent. And if we found somebody who didn't get better, we wanted to then adjust and figure out, well, we need a higher dosage to make sure everybody gets that result. So even how the protocol has evolved over the years is because we work with thousands of people and we make adjustments based on that. I also know other people who teach disease reversal, doctors who came out with a protocol 10 years ago who refused to make any adjustments or changes to include things that are healthy, like plant-based fats, omega-3s, things like that they're going to just what I said and that's it and not grow. I don't do that. My commitment is not to my own ideas or my own protocol, but to you and to your health. And when I see a path to evolve and do even better, then that's what I do. So we've gotten great results since we first taught this, and now it's even better and even faster. And so I'm always open and willing to continue to evolve, but I have never needed to add other supplements besides the ones everyone should take, like vitamin D, B12, iodine. Those are things that everybody needs, right? But I haven't needed to add other supplements, and our results are the best I've seen. So if someone does better, I'm open, because again, my commitment is always going to be to you and your health. So I hope that answers the question. Let me see here. All right, let's see if I can answer this for you. A year ago, I was diagnosed with aplastic anemia. I also have several autoimmune diseases. In the last year, I've had 8 blood transfusions. Prior to this, I was on an omega supplement. My hematologist told me it was dangerous to continue the supplement with the blood disorders. So my question is it also dangerous to consume the required amount of flax and chia seeds because of the high omega? I don't see how it would be. I don't know your case, so I'm hesitant to argue with any doctor that's overseeing your case. But generally speaking, I've worked with people with aplastic anemia and other types of blood disorders done extremely well. So I can't give you again a specific, say your case, here's what to do, but I have found that not to be an issue at all. Diane already wants to know when's my cookbook with Ezekiel bread and pizza and cooked food coming out. Um, you know how long it took me to publish the one that you got? I don't have a plan yet for a step down book. There's a lot of recipes out there for whole food plant-based eating. Um, the one that we published was really because that people wanted push for. You saw every Q&A, more recipes besides only smoothies for things that that help you get better. So I mean, now there's desserts and there's dressing, so many dressings, and there's meals and there's snacks and there's we got breakfast. It's a lot. So now, if you're looking for ways to hypernourish or to be on Goodbye Lupus or Goodbye Autoimmune Disease protocol, these are all compliant. Okay. I saw some people asking about that. In terms of step down and health maintenance, plant-based, unprocessed, avoid the oils, avoid sugar, stuff like that. That's where you're going. But maybe one day. Maybe one day. As soon as I get one book out, you guys are already pressuring me on the next one. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Let me see. I haven't been on Instagram for a moment. Let me get a few more on Instagram. Thank you. Some of you guys are so nice. Like Kyrene wrote, thank you for being so brave to do this. You saved my life with your diet, and you're strong to get back to doing this. I want to save the lives I can, and I'm glad that you're doing well. Do you give brief consultations before signing up? No, I do not. This is my brief consultation, unfortunately. I just don't have the ability to do that. I have wellness consultations that are 75 minutes. I need that long to get to know a person, their history, because my plan that I give you is not just nutrition, but about what you need to do to recover your health. And it's based off of your personal traumas and moods and lifestyle factors, all the different other issues you have that could also be contributing to your health. I like to know the person fully. And then I can create a plan that is personalized to you and I send it to you. It's like 10 pages, usually 8 to 10 pages. Here's what to do in order, including how to get better and also how to maintain the maintenance, all that kind of stuff. So that's the way I do it for consultations. Yeah. Let's see. Alba wants to know, any cases that were healed with liver autoimmune disease? Yes, actually, quite a few. My rapid recovery group, we've had quite a few people with autoimmune disease in their liver who fully recovered. Absolutely, we have. Yes, they did normal LFTs. Usually by the end of the group, their liver function tests are normal. Let's see here. And Cutie wants to know any protocols that help with neurological problems. My dad might have MS. And yes, the Goodbye Lupus protocol helps with those things. It's called the Goodbye Lupus protocol because it is the protocol that helped me say goodbye to lupus. But at this point, it has helped people recover from many different diseases, MS, rheumatoid arthritis, scleroderma, Sjogren's, mixed connective tissue disease, as well as things like heart failure, liver disease, lung disease, diabetes. I mean, the list goes on and on. So even though it's called the Goodbye Lupus protocol, it is the optimal way of eating to reverse disease, repair your cells, and keep yourself healthy. And that's one of the most important things I want you all to remember, okay, is that hypernourishment is not just something you do because you're trying to heal and then you go back to like business as usual. Hypernourishment is a way of life. So even though I've been healthy 18 years, I still every day, this one's empty. I'm having my smoothies. I'm drinking my water, right? I take care of myself. And that is really, really important because not only am I lupus free for 18 years, not only did my kidneys heal, not only did I stop having blood clotting antibodies and blood clots, not only did I stop having lupus rashes, usually I have no makeup. I don't have rashes. I don't have any illnesses, right? But I'm about to turn 47, and when you look at all of the markers in my body and you look at all the tests I have done, colonoscopy, whatever, I'm like a teenager. In fact, as a teenager, I was sick. I'm like a healthy teenager. So whatever I've done that's reversed the disease process also keeps me from getting colds and flus. It keeps me healthy. It keeps my body young. It's reversed the aging process. And it allows me to function optimally. And so I want you all to remember that it's not just that you hyper-nourish, you get healthy, and then you go back to fried chicken and french fries, but that hyper-nourishment stays. That even if in the future, when you've been healthy for like 6 months or more and you're doing really well and you want to occasionally eat something inflammatory and you decide you're going to have french fries, you still had your salad or your smoothie first. And it's like an insurance policy to keep you as healthy as possible, right? But don't start adding other junk unless you've already been healthy and you're not afraid that you're going to backtrack. Because again, now more than ever, you got to listen to me about this. Life is worth it. Eating healthy is worth it because just being here is a gift. And even if you're not feeling like it's a gift to you right now, you being here matters to other people. It's a gift to the people who love you. So take care of yourself for you, for the people who love you, all right? Because it is worth it. Take the steps you need to get well, whether you're going to be working with me in my group, whether you're going to be seeing your therapist, whether you're going to be following our recipes in the book or online, whatever it is that you're doing, do what it takes. Commit to yourself, commit to your body, and take care of yourself. All right. And don't forget to focus on your joy and your purpose. All right. Because that's going to make that gift feel worth it to you. So I'm going to end it here. Again, I thank all of you from the bottom of my heart for all of the love that you've sent. You have all uplifted me. You've uplifted my family. It means a lot. Okay. And we're going to keep taking care of ourselves. I'm doing my self-care. I'm eating healthy. I'm taking time to cry when I need to, and I'm letting the laughter in when it wants to come. And I'm here to live my purpose in helping you do the same. So thank you again, all of you, for all of your love and support. This is Dr. Brooke Goldner from Goodbye Lupus. I will see you next time. I hope you have a great day.